Welcome to the Juggling Mind and Money podcast with Steve Rowe and Jessica Schlupp-Taylor. Steve Rowe is the founder of Lucent Financial Planning and an award-winning independent financial planner. He helps you to use your money and have a great life. Jess Schlupp-Taylor is a psychologist supporting people through change, challenges, and forks in the road of life. Together, they will help unblock the sludge in your mind, stopping you from achieving financial and psychological happiness.
Hello, welcome to episode 11 of Juggling Mind and Money. I'm Steve, founder of Lucent Financial Planning and Chartered Financial Planner, and this is Jess.
Waving like a mad woman at the camera if you're on YouTube.
Who's our resident psychologist who helps our clients to obtain and maintain a healthy head. And in this podcast, we're trying to focus on being content or happy, just not miserable, right? Money's an important part of that. But today we're going to be looking at something that's rather difficult when you're in retirement.
It's rather difficult all the way through life stages.
All the way through life.
But today we are focusing on the retirement bit because that's really what we're about.
And that's replacing the social side of work in retirement.
Which is undervalued whilst you're in it, I think.
I think you don't even notice it.
Yeah, completely take it for granted.
Exactly. So, hey, Jess, tell me, have you got any friends?
Can we define friendship? No, I do have some really good friends. I have some great friends.
Lots of people know you, don't they?
I have lots of acquaintances.
Yeah.
I think I'd go to friends or people that I would go to for help and who would come to me for help.
Oh, that's a good definition of friendship, isn't it?
But then I also think, so in my therapy, with my therapy hat on, is that it's okay to have friends with different purposes. So, that word again. Friends having different purposes. Sometimes they're incredibly good at being organised and doing organisational activities.
Yeah.
Other friends are so they might be more practical about, perhaps if you go into medical appointments and you want somebody whose brain is firmly attached to listen and pay attention, they'd be who you called upon. Somebody else would be really good at sitting and watching movies with and eating popcorn. Somebody else would be really good at partying with. Somebody else might be really good at walking up hills and be the physically active one. If you were to ask the really physically active one to come out partying with you, they might not be able to fill both functions, and it's okay. Friends don't have to be all things to all people.
I could do all those things. I'm like the Swiss Army knife of friends.
I think, yeah. Okay.
I've always got a corkscrew.
If you're not watching this on YouTube and you cannot see what Steve looks like at the minute, then Steve saying that he's the Swiss Army knife of friends is possibly a little stretch.
Yeah, no friends. Anyway, so we're talking about this because, as we said a moment ago, when you get up, you go to the office, you meet people there, you've got a common goal, you've got stuff to talk about in achieving that goal. You have a chat over a cup of coffee.
You have lots and lots of interactions throughout the day, and they could be work focused, they could be coffee focused, they can be getting cross at somebody else's actions focused, but it can be a multitude of things. But you probably have 100, 200 touch points throughout the day. Less so if you're one of those people that work from home and sit behind Teams and do not actively call people to chat. You do miss that, but
that does happen though. People do call when you have Zoom calls and whatnot, don't you?
Yeah, and usually you will have a little chat around the other stuff that you're talking about other than pure work.
So 2 important points about this is the demise of the chat over the kettle and cup of tea. Is that a real thing? Because I don't see the youth, in my office at least, drinking much tea.
Well, they might not necessarily drink tea, but they will take those 1-2 minute mini breaks where they will have a little chat, have a natter, discuss something. It's really important to be able to have those mini touch points. I don't know about you, but it's quite rare that I'm alone. But when I am, let's say that I'm watching something on TV like BBC, Am I Being Unreasonable? And it makes me laugh out loud. I do turn to go and tell somebody, that was funny, wasn't it? Or did you just see that? Or whatever it was. And there's no one there to share that with.
What's that programme? I don't know it.
It's got Daisy May Cooper in. It's very funny.
New. She's funny.
It's funny, but you sort of watch it cringingly through fingers because it's quite painful. Am I Being Unreasonable?
But you love it. Well, this is another thing. With the demise of appointment TV, there is less chats, isn't there? I think, like with EastEnders.
Less conversations about programmes.
Like Grant is back in EastEnders.
No way.
One has mentioned it.
Is that because he's finished doing the prisons and gang programmes and there's only so many prisons and gangs he can visit, so now he's back as Grant Mitchell?
Yeah, and Nigel's.
I quite liked him though.
Yeah, brilliant. But no one's talking about it in the office because no one watches EastEnders anymore.
I've forgotten what his real name is. No.
Ross Kemp.
Oh, nicely done. You pulled that out of the memory bank.
He went to my brother's school, interestingly, I think.
He's not related to the Kemp person that was the singer, is he?
Now that the love has gone. Oh, no. That was the wrong one, wasn't it?
Gary Kemp.
Yeah, no? But he was Spandau Ballet.
Okay.
And Martin Kemp, who was interestingly also in EastEnders.
Oh, but these conversations, see...
They're boring for people to listen to.
Yeah, so apologies again, Steve and Jess going off target. Who knew? However, they are really important little social interactions that if we were not at work, if we weren't recording a podcast, we would be missing out on these little gems that are making us chuckle, lifting us up. Might not be funny to everyone, but they are giving us little gems of happiness.
Which is another good point, actually, because when you're at work, because you have to get back to something called work, or your evil boss might be looking at you, going, come on now, come on, back to work. You don't have to stay having these boring conversations for a long time. You've got an easy out.
You've got an easy out.
Whereas otherwise you have to
contrive. So you should really appreciate your evil boss because it gives you an easy out from boring Derek.
Oh, well, I was thinking Cynthia.
Apologies to anyone who's called Derek. I'm sure you're not boring, but just popped into my brain.
Yes, that's important. So these little social interactions, really important, and they can get you through the day. Can't they quite a lot? But they're gone when you're retired. There's a lot less small talk.
I do see a lot of people that come in as clients that thought when they retired they would stay in touch with their work buddies that are still working, and actually and also sometimes work buddies that have retired, but often they'd be coming from out different areas, and in truth they live an hour and a half away from each other, but the meeting point was work and it was central. Then there's no reason for them to meet, and they thought they would continue these relationships. They thought that people from work would keep in touch with them. They'd still be invited out on socials. And the truth was, they left and whispering, hey, tumbleweed.
Crickets. This is
true.
And
that's hard. And that can be dagger to the heart. And people can really feel rejected from that. When the truth is, friends happen. I think I said it last episode. Reason a season or a lifetime. And one of the reasons is you're at work together and you have that common goal. And unless you make a huge effort to maintain that friendship, whispering hay, tumbleweed, crickets.
Exactly. So there are those little interactions that happen naturally. But also there's the big events, isn't there? Like the Christmas party, drinks after work on a Friday. People at Lucent call it the Friday Club. I'm rarely invited.
It's also the information and all those interactions that you then go back home and share with your loved ones. It gives you something to talk about. Oh, do you know what happened to?
Gossip.
Oh, did you hear about this? Or, oh, this is what's happening. And that's it. So then it doesn't just affect the social, not just missing the social interactions that you have during work. It also reduces the interaction and the information you have to share when you're at home.
Correct.
Need to replace it with something, Steve.
Yeah, because otherwise you'll get boring to your partner. What have you done to them? Nothing. Haven't seen anyone. Or you say the same story over and over because you only seen one other person.
Dull Derek. Don't turn into a dull
Stop having a
Derek.
go at Derek. He's all right.
I don't know a Derek. I think that's why I've chosen it. I don't know a Derek, but if you are a Derek out there and you're not dull, please contact me so we can be friends and I can choose a different name.
Oh. Now,
Boring Bob. Bob's not boring though.
I've never met a boring Bob.
No, I have a feeling Bobs have personality.
Can't think of a bad one.
No.
Now, we have to. I want to tell you a story, which is a true story, but it is a bit sad. The lady on we have a walk every month, which you've been on a lot.
Yeah, I really enjoy the walks.
And one said, I'm worried about retiring because I know they're not my friends, but the people at work are the only people having interaction with.
Oh.
Because she'd moved region, so she didn't have her old school friends and whatnot. And that was a really big step for her to retire, knowing that. And with our walking club that we have, going on that helped to build up and help to see that there are things going on she can get involved in.
Absolutely.
And because of that, because she will jump in and get involved, she's taken to it like a duck to water.
I think you have to make the effort, don't you? That's the thing, is it doesn't happen to you. You have to make it happen.
You do, because otherwise it's bad news. Now, Jess.
Yeah.
When you were little at school and stuff, you made friends, didn't you? It's quite easy to make friends. But as a grown-up, we're grown-ups now, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's hard, isn't it, to make new friends? I can't really think of many that I've made in the last 15 years. Proper friends.
I think it's difficult you have less opportunities to make friends. I found it quite easy. So I moved from Swindon, glorious place, to Solihull. And I found making friends easier actually in Solihull because I had children. Yeah. And it was the whole playground, mums, that whole you were friends for a reason, play dates, got to know PTA groups. There was a structured of making friends, if you like, when you have children. When you don't have children, it can be a bit more of a challenge. Trying to make friends outside of children. I was self-employed for 15 years. I missed out on a whole social world because I was self-employed and worked without anybody else. Yeah. That was really lonely. So, yeah, as an adult, it is more difficult to make friends and create social connections.
And as I don't have children, making friends outside the school gates is not really on, is it?
Don't do that.
No. So it is hard to meet people. And they've got busy lives, haven't they?
Again, so as a mum, I met all these friends. We had a really good network. And then what happens is that children get a little bit older. Mums go perhaps back to work. This is very generalised, and I don't mean it because it could be dads as well. But in my experience was with mums, the mums go back to work and the friendships actually fall off because we are so busy doing our own lives, doing the commuting to the swimming, the football, the cricket, the work, that there's very, very little time for the interactions.
So this is the thing, over sort of middle age and stuff, you tend to shed friends, not on purpose, just through lack of time or attention to detail. Not that your friends are details.
But that's a really important point. If you do not invest in it, if you don't invest time and energy into it. I have a friend who's brilliant at investing time and energy into her friends. And she has friends dotted all over the place. She's great at staying in touch. She makes an effort. She remembers birthdays. She invites people over. She cooks. She makes an effort to go and see people. If haven't got anything in my diary, I'm flat out on the couch just appreciating the sound of silence. And my friends have to all know that I am useless at staying in touch. However, if they need me, I'll be there if they call. But she has a much wider circle of friends because she invests time and energy into it. My circle of friends is probably smaller because I'm just not as good.
You are good, just haven't got the time to. But you can get it back
I can get it back.
Jess, and this is an important thing as you approach and are in retirement. Like, revive those old friendships. They'll still like you. They haven't, unless you've fallen out. If you've done something terrible to them, then, you know.
I don't think I've done anything terrible.
Well, you think.
Do not comment on these.
That time that Jess did this to me.
I'm pretty sure I haven't done anything terrible. We're okay.
So reviving those friendships, because they're still there. Just because you haven't seen them each other doesn't mean it's not about. So at Christmas, I got all of our school friends together for the first time since my wedding. And obviously I didn't see them then because I was, fluttering about.
Oh, you didn't see them at your wedding?
Not really.
You did see them when you got them back together again.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So that was a good thing. And then one who we haven't seen for like 6 years, he was like, let's do it again in April. I was like, well, it's not 6 years yet. Back off.
You do have to make time. It's a bit, trying to get people together is tough, trying to align the diaries.
So I am generally the person that will organise and convene this stuff.
Oh, you're good. You're a driver.
Well, I don't know about that. But they asked me to as well.
Mm.
Like, you do it. You do it.
Yeah, nobody would ask me to do it. I couldn't organise a party in a brewery.
You could.
Oh. Can you just show up?
Turn up.
Oh.
Come on, Jess.
Too much attention to detail. I have a friend who's brilliant at organising. One of the reasons that I am her friend is because I love her so much. She loves doing the organising and saying, we're going to go here at this time and meet at this time, da 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 da. And I just get to turn up and follow. Yay!
Yay!
And she just tells me, this is what we're doing, this is the itinerary, this is what you need to wear. Brilliant. I can follow instructions. The friendship works very well.
So it is really hard, isn't it? Making friends as a grown-up. But when you leave work, you're going to have less interaction. So I think you need to revive. Get your old mates. Get the old band back together.
Creating social connections in retirement is essential, I believe, to having quality mental health and quality enjoyment out of life. It links very closely with our last episode of purpose. But social connections is huge. You really, really need to up your game. Make it happen.
I think it's the number one thing.
Oh, big one.
We're number one. Dun, 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 dun. I feel like doing
Number
the top
one.
top of the pops.
Yeah, I definitely
Dun,
think it's
dun.
critical. It's critical to having contentment and happiness.
Now, I'm going to tell you, I like my history.
Yes, we like
Right.
this.
Do you know
like
what
this.
almshouses are?
Arms?
Alms.
No, I don't know what arms are.
ALMS.
Mm.
So they're like old people homes from medieval times.
Okay.
Right.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
I've heard of almshouses, but I didn't know what they were for.
There's one near where you live.
Oh.
What is it? Tide House, Green Lane. Anyway, almshouses are like the old medieval type of care home for the elderly, right? And they were run by monks. Monks, because they weren't allowed to talk a lot. They like to write stuff down, and they were the only ones who could write down. So there's like 1,000 years, or thereabouts, of records of people that have lived in almshouses and how long they lived for. And did you know? Well, I know you didn't, Jess, because
No, I
I'm telling you
didn't.
this right now.
Go for it.
But did you know that against the population in the surrounding areas, people that went into an almshouse were lived 2.4 years longer, I think it was.
Well, we don't know why though, do we?
Social connection. Because it ain't medicine, is it? Like back in the 13th century.
Well, I'm guessing in almshouses though, there was roof and shelter.
Yeah. And social connection.
And
so
social
they weren't,
connections.
it's not like good medicine. They're not.
Let's put it down to social connections.
They're giving you leeches or something.
Mm. Oh, that's on GCSE history.
Is it?
Is medicine through the ages.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite an interesting topic for.
Like have some maggots eat your wound or whatever.
Yeah, clean it up.
Horrendous, but I think that works too.
There's
Anyway.
So one of my many jobs is working with the housing association, and we have retirement living. I won't lie, it looks pretty good. And if you've ever read, is it the Thursday Murder Club Richard
Osman.
Osmond. Oh my goodness. After reading that, who doesn't want to go and live in a retirement living place where, yes, you have your own apartment, your own kitchen, your own little sanctuary, but then if you want to go and be sociable, it's on your doorstep. I went and visited somebody and I said, oh, what have you been up to? And they said, well, bingo night was fantastic. And we brought down the toffee vodka and Vera was dropping and popping after bingo. Yeah.
Awesome.
I just thought it sounded fantastic. And they basically get together 3-4 times a week for a real knees up. But they also get together during the days and they can choose to join in, choose not to join in.
What are about.
But yeah, there's a good social bit to it. Because there's a lot of people in retirement that say, I want to stay in my own house.
Ugh.
But what that can do is be incredibly isolating. It's fine if you have your health, and it's fine if you can get yourself out and about and you have a really good network around you. But I would say that as you do get perhaps a little bit older, it's worth having a look at these places which get people together. And it's not forced fun, but the fun is there should you wish to be included in it.
And the toffee vodka.
Toffee vodka.
God, this sounds awesome. I haven't had that.
I was going to say toffee vodka sounds revolting.
You had it?
Yeah.
I'm kind of feeling like Bailey's vibes, but that can't be right, can it?
I think a bit stronger. But I'm sure they wouldn't mind if I skipped the toffee vodka and had a gin and tonic instead.
Episode 12, could we do toffee vodka in retirement?
Or we could do drinking in retirement.
So loneliness is a big thing in retirement.
Huge.
And it massively affects your life expectancy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it affects your physical health because
your mental health.
Being able to get up and see people and be sociable does keep you active. So physical, your mental, absolutely. Depression can be a real side effect of loneliness. And also it affects, what else does it affect, Steve?
What, loneliness? Well, it affects everything, doesn't it? Because
that's sad,
longevity. Well, it's
and
all sad. There's nothing
about
good.
How many old people don't speak to somebody on a daily basis?
It's horrendous.
Sad times. But listen to this podcast and make it not be you. Don't be part of that stat.
Yeah, that's it. Listen to this podcast and hopefully don't realise why you don't want to talk to people. Right, in a moment, we'll come back and look at how your money can be used to help your social activity. But first, a message from our sponsors.
And now, a message from our sponsors. Jess, Steve, there are no sponsors. This is embarrassing.
So, financial planning and making friends. Now, this could be very easily be construed as buying your friends, which is not what I mean. What I mean here is if you know how much money you've got, how much you can spend, you can use that to do activities where you're more likely to meet people and have a lovely time. You can go on more holidays. I haven't got anyone to go on holiday with, Steve. Well, go on. There's lots of people like that and they all get together.
Yes. My friend goes on singledom holidays. Loads of single people. Makes loads of friends. Epic.
And do they stay in touch after? Bound to, aren't they?
Yeah, sometimes. She usually chooses one or two people.
Yeah.
But even if you don't stay in touch, you still had a really good shared experience.
Yeah, had a nice time for a while.
Yeah.
And that's
She's never come back and said, that was awful, I was forced to have... She's really enjoyed it. There's usually a good group of people where you find a little tribe within each one.
Yeah. So any hobby or activity you want to do, right, that gets you going, that might be your purpose. These are all things you can do as part of a group. So if you're into fast cars and you want to get one, there'll be a club for those.
There's a club for everything.
There's a club for everything. So join the club, share your experience. You'll learn something. You'll have a great time. You'll be able to talk about Ross Kemp in EastEnders.
And if there isn't a club for it, create your own.
Make your own club. Be the leader.
Yeah. share the knowledge or the experience that you've got or the passion that you've got for something, and pass that on to other people. That's epic.
It is. It's absolutely awesome. And this is how great things happen, isn't it? Happen through someone going, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make it brilliant.
Yeah.
And that's very much like this podcast, frankly.
If you've got money, then it also means that you can pay someone to do the jobs that you don't like doing, which then frees you up to spend the time that you have doing the things that you do enjoy and that float your boat. I love that one because for me, I don't care what car I drive. I don't care how new the sofa is. I really don't like cleaning. So to be able to pay somebody to clean for me,
awesome.
That's when I know that I'm in a good place.
And you can have a chat with them as well.
Have a chat with them.
So importantly, Jess, I've just had a brain erasure.
Brain erasure?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's not where you start singing "You Sometimes" by Erasure.
Oh, sometimes.
I had a really good point. It was awesome.
I almost went into Tiffany then, which would be wrong.
Well, we're going to have to forget that. It's gone. It's gone forever.
If you've got anything else, because if not, I'll jump in and save you.
Jump in and save me.
I'm
dying on stage.
George is going to erase out. We're looking at let's go back. We're talking about finances and how having healthy finances can enable us to be able to be more sociable. So it can help us to pay for clubs and join clubs and live experiences, whether that be holidays for single people.
It's back.
It's back.
It's back.
Yay.
Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
So who do you want to be around, right? I would suggest you want to be around the people that are exciting, have good stories to say, to tell you, that have done things.
Yes.
You know, people that walk into the room and make you crackle.
Yeah, light it up slightly.
So if you haven't done anything, use your money to do something so you can tell people about it.
So you can have these stories. Absolutely.
Yeah. But don't tell them incessantly, people.
Well,
don't be that person.
Also, as you get older, it's tempting that your world gets smaller. And that can put huge pressure on the relationships that you do have. So perhaps that could be your friends, or that could be one or two friendships that you have. Did I say that? I think I said friends twice. I mean, that could be your children, or it could be one or two friendships. But if your social circle is very small, you're relying on them for a huge amount. Whereas the bigger you can make that social circle, the more interesting you are, the more colourful you are, you're bringing value to other people's lives as well. It's much, much healthier to try to make sure that you have lots of different points of contact, of interaction throughout the week, throughout the month, different ways, different clubs, working, volunteering. There's so many touch points that you can have. You've got to grab hold of them, but you've got to make it happen. It doesn't come to you. Society doesn't come and say, hey, do you want to be friends? You have to go out. I want to learn to play bridge.
Bridge.
Yeah, I do want to learn to play
That's
bridge.
how you cheat at bridge, isn't it?
I don't know. My dad did teach me when I was younger, but I've forgotten. So if there's anyone out there that wants to play bridge, I would love to learn to play bridge.
Mate, bridge is massive. It's you have to do it in twos, don't you?
Yes, you have to in pairs.
Right. And they have
someone's then forced to be my friend. I love that.
And they have clubs.
Friend might be a strong word.
They have clubs, and they do it on cruise ships. Like the whole club goes to sit on I've heard about this from someone, on a boat off the Channel Islands, and they play bridge all day.
You've taken my bridge to quite an extent. I don't think I would necessarily want to do it on a cruise ship. Can I just do it down the British Legion?
But that's like the big, but that's the jollies, isn't it? They all get together and they go on a big jolly, floating about. Nice.
Yeah. Bridge. That's where I'd want to go.
I think any social activity you can extend.
Choir. Oh, singing. I know that we're wrapping up, but just to go off on a tangent, singing as a group is massively beneficial for your mental health.
Remember Ben?
Yes.
Yeah. Rock choir.
Oh, my friend's part of rock choir too.
Really? They're a national thing, aren't they?
I know
They're brilliant.
a few people part of rock choir. I think that sounds quite awesome.
And they do it at like summer fates and stuff. They go and sing,
Ugh.
I don't know, Metallica or something.
A bit of Aerosmith.
Yeah.
I quite like
that's some of
Aerosmith.
my
Bit of AC/DC.
That's what they do. My hat's slipping off, isn't it?
It is slipping off. And
Um,
you've not taken the tag off it. But, we'll forgive you because
well, it's not mine. I just
you're
found it.
owning the look.
Yeah. Right, now to Sockology.
And now for Sockology, where Jess and Steve review types of sock and how your socks affect your mood.
Right, Sockology, everyone. Sadly, Jess hasn't got any socks on.
I've got tights on.
Mine are all holy.
I'm practical. I'm wearing tights.
We completely forgot about Sockology when we met up. It's horrendous. And we have no pictures of anyone's feet in socks that they've sent in left.
No. Well, I do, but I haven't given them to you yet.
Now, I know Sockology is one of the favourite segments of our show. But people, we have only got 2 feet each. There's 4. Got 4. We need pictures of your feet with socks on.
But right. So although we haven't got anything to show people, I do have a debate. Somebody said to me, what is it with sliders and socks?
I don't know
Sliders
about
and
sliders.
socks.
What are they?
Sliders are
These girls
like-
things.
like flip-flops, but they're not the thongs that go in between your toes. You slide your foot in like an open-toed mule. Like
Right.
what people wear around the pool, what swimmers wear around the
I
pool,
think
but
I
not
know.
flip-flops.
They're called sliders.
So anyway, back to sliders. Sliders and socks, which I remember growing up, it was always, don't be a loser and wear socks and sandals.
Yeah.
That was always a big no-no. And yet
It's
now,
cool now.
people are wearing socks and sandals.
Yeah, the youth, they wear like white socks with
I find
trainers.
that very odd.
And those were the biggest
Are
losers.
they not
weren't
bothered
they?
about tan lines?
To Gen Xers, they are the biggest losers.
Yeah, as for me, it was always almost tuck your socks down into your trainers as much as possible
Yeah,
to
fold
hide them.
down.
Whereas now people are pulling them up. But I quite like that because you know what I did the other day? I went and worked out. I know, don't look at me. I went and worked out. I'm just at the beginning of my journey. But I put on my socks, and because I thought it was now in fashion to pull your socks up, I was wearing Captain America socks. So I
Were
pulled
you?
my socks up, and one sock is, I don't know, stars, and the other one is stripes. It says Captain America on. So I was owning this. And then my children almost died of embarrassment because, Mum, you look such an idiot. And I said, but it's in. I'm pulling my socks up. That's cool and trendy. Apparently, it truly wasn't.
Yeah, what anything
But I
you do
didn't
won't
care
be.
because I was working out and channeling my Captain America. But the truth was I was going more for the Hulk. So I need to find a pair of Hulk socks for when I work out to
Don't make
channel
me
my
angry.
inner Hulk.
You would like it if I got angry.
Yes.
I love the Hulk.
I love the Hulk. He's one of my favourites. Spider-Man was my favourite growing up.
I like Spider-Man.
But I don't find him attractive, whereas the Hulk I'd probably,
He's green. He looks like an off crisp.
an off crisp.
You know, when you get green crisps, there's nothing as disappointing as that, is there? Don't you think?
Mm.
Right, so we're asking you for your socks, pictures of you in your socks.
Yes, please.
Just your socks.
So
but-
then we can do an analysis of what sort of person you are. But it can't be the socks by themselves. This is the important
No,
part.
it needs a foot in it and a reason.
But also how it interacts with your outfit, really. Because if you're wearing a brown sock and brown trousers, that says something. But if you're wearing a brown sock and black trousers, that says something else.
Who has
We need-
brown socks?
We need to know how the sock interacts with your outfit, really. You can keep your head out of it. But in order to do Sockology, we have to understand the outfit.
And how you feel. How those socks make you feel.
Yeah, why did you choose them? Is it because you're boring Derek and you're wearing beige socks with beige chinos? Or are you exciting Norman that's wearing stripy, spotty socks because they bring joy to the world?
That's right, exciting Norman.
I love exciting Norman.
So we're asking you for that. We're also asking you for a review.
Get them in, get reviewing.
Steve and Jess would be really grateful if you'd leave them a review on wherever you listen to your podcasts. If they run a star system, please give Juggling Mind and Money more stars than the Milky Way.
We're still talking socks, and Steve's questioning why anybody would own brown socks. And I had to admit that I had a pair, but it came in a pack of walking socks.
That's right. So, anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. I've enjoyed this one. I've enjoyed talking about social interaction. I've enjoyed socially interacting with you.
Make it happen. Don't be afraid of rejection. That's a big one.
Oh,
As we get older, you have to put yourself out there socially. Make it happen. Do you want to be my friend? The likelihood is, if you're thinking I could do with more friends, everybody else in the club is also thinking it.
the whole world could do with more friends. You know, right? If you feel you're being rejected,
Yeah,
you probably aren't.
you probably aren't.
You know, unless they're very open about it. It's probably just they haven't got time to open up yet.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Don't take it personally. It's a numbers game. Move on to the next one, I say.
That's correct. So remember, social interaction is super important. Don't die of loneliness. You've got the power to go out there and do it. People are the most important part of happiness because we are a social species.
Yeah.
They also can be the most annoying part.
That's true.
So choose carefully. But we are a social species. We need to connect. If you want to live longer and happier, get out there and be friendly.
Yeah.
Right. And it's very easy, really, isn't it? To do a little thing for someone.
Yeah. Well,
Just
you
be
have to be
nice.
brave. You have to put yourself out there, make it happen.
Make someone's day. And they might do it back.
Yeah.
But they'll do it back for someone else. It will
not-
spread. It's
Would
a
you like to
smile.
go for a coffee after this?
I'd love to, but you're doing your thingy, aren't you?
Pranic healing. But no, I was just giving you an example of how we can make friends.
Oh, right, sorry. I
Turn
thought
up
you
to
was
book.
asking me. You've never asked me for a coffee.
I don't think you drink coffee. Your tea's like dishwater.
I can't. Oi!
What is true?
No.
Right, we're
it's
saying
good.
goodbye.
Find
your tribe in your dishwater tea lovers.
Everyone needs to find their tribe and feel comfortable. But importantly, there is a tribe for everyone. I firmly believe this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, no matter how weird or awkward looking you look.
And actually, that's the best thing about the internet, I believe, is that it's much, much easier to find your tribe than it used to be.
Now, for that last sentence, I've worn this hat for the entire episode to look weird and awkward looking.
You are slightly weird looking and awkward looking even without the hat, but I like that you embraced it even more.
I am weird, aren't I, looking?
In a lovely way.
Like in a big sort of oaf, Shrek kind of way.
Of 6'5".
I'm big enough.
Yeah.
So thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening. Next time, we haven't decided what we're doing next time.
No, we haven't. Send suggestions in.
Send suggestions. So these are your 3 actions, listener, that you need to do. Send in a picture of your socks, make them good, send us a reason. Your reviews of us on Spotify or podcasts, iTunes podcasts, wherever you listen. And I've forgotten the last one now. What's happening?
Go make some friends.
Make some friends. It's very easy. I love you, everybody. Goodbye, Jess.
Bye, Steve.
Goodbye.